And Sports Buffet is back. Number 8, we just learned. So we had a week off. We're refreshed. We're rejuvenated, I think. I think Matt's profession and just being in New York is just draining. So I don't know if you can get refreshed. Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, I try. But when you got a bachelor party and a wedding back to back weeks,
man. Wait, let's ask about the bachelor party real quick. How was that, man? Did you get spotted in Nashville?
No, I didn't, and I definitely didn't expect it either. Nashville's fun, man. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, I have. I've been. I went for the draft, and then I went, I think, one other time, but I didn't really go like while out. But I saw the potential. Yeah. It was crazy.
Dude, those people are awesome. Like, they're just good people for a good time. Like,
hell yeah.
Shout out Nashville. Just awesome.
They need
just been listening to country music a week straight now.
That's what I'm saying. Fuck country music. I mean, I'm not a fan, but like,
I'm all about it.
You're on the country music train right now. You're like all about Taylor Swift and all that stuff.
And like the girls that when they speak, even if they're your like waitress or they're your bartender, and it's just like very just like
that southern drawl.
God, they're just southern belles. I'm like that accent, and I just love like everyone's so sweet.
Yeah, Nashville is like a Seattle to me, where I'm like surprised that there's not more sports teams. Like they have hockey, the Predators. Then they have the Tennessee Titans, which is their stadium is right at the end of Broadway, which is actually pretty dope. I think they're getting an MLS team. That's the rumor, which I think an MLS team will do really well there. I think they're pretty like youthful and like just will support any team there. But they don't have basketball, if I'm right. They have the Memphis Grizzlies, but that's like way far away in Memphis.
Yeah.
And they don't have baseball. And baseball was another one that I know that MLB was like, I saw an article and there was like ties somewhere of some guy who was like super rich that potentially wanted to bring a team back to Nashville. But like the Predators, I remember the Predators were playing one time I was there, and it was like tickets were like $90 for like a regular season game, all sold out. And the barbecue restaurant I went to was like packed. Everybody's wearing their Predators jersey, like watching the game. Titans, I feel like sells out too. I feel like they're like got a good following. Like Nashville should low key get like a basketball and baseball team.
Yeah, I think basketball and baseball could work there. When I was there, LSU was at Vandy.
Oh,
and Vandy's
man.
right there.
You should have went.
But I didn't see one Vanderbilt shirt.
Oh,
it
no.
was all
no. College. Vanderbilt gets no love.
No, I guess it's a little different too with like college, but purple and gold everywhere all weekend long. Like I wore a yellow shirt during the day on like a Friday, and like people were just like
showing mad love.
LSU, man. I'm like, yeah.
I guess it's one of those destination spots like a San Diego or something like that, where like you're gonna get everybody from the other teams like fan base there, especially college. That like Louisiana's not that far from Nashville. If I think about it, I don't think it's too far. Probably like
no, I don't
a couple
think
hours,
so. And
4
it's
or 5
like,
hours.
I don't think those tickets are like too expensive. So you're like pretty much paying for the flight to see LSU play. Whereas like you go to LSU, those tickets might be a little more difficult to get.
Yeah.
So that seemed to be the move. And like, that's like a great destination spot. Like if your college team is coming in to play Vanderbilt, like go there.
That's money.
Like,
yeah. I mean, like they embrace that whole country music, like outdoorsy, like vibe. It sort of sucks for Vanderbilt because it's like a really, 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 really good school, but they're in the SEC because like they're a big school, and I don't know. They've got a really good baseball team.
Yeah.
But basketball, they just get like shat on by all the SEC teams most of the time. For the majority of like the last couple seasons. Lately they've gotten a little better, but football is just a wrap. Like they can't compete with LSU and Florida and whoever else is in the SEC. Is that Alabama? Like there's no shot you're going to win those games.
No, I agree with that. I mean, it'd be fun as hell to go to Vanderbilt University. Like if you're a student athlete out there, like it's awesome. But like also their academics are pretty crazy at Vanderbilt, right?
Yeah, it's crazy good school, Vanderbilt.
So they're not. It's always going to be tougher to
That doesn't
get
matter.
athletes
Nah,
in.
come on, man. I always point out Allen Iverson going to Georgetown, and like no shade to Allen Iverson, but like that dude is not Georgetown material. So like,
There's a lot of shade towards Allen Iverson.
like,
But yeah, no hold on, Georgetown. I assume that wasn't hard to get into because of Allen Iverson. Like he killed a person in a bowling alley in high school.
well, allegedly, I think he just threw a chair at somebody. But like, Georgetown is like one of the freaking hardest schools to get in like the country. It's up there with like it's like practically an Ivy League school. So like,
really?
Like the whole like when you watch that 30 for 30 doc on Allen Iverson and like hear about like him either potentially going to jail like one day, right or wrong, if he was involved or not, and then the next day just getting like John Thompson to be like, hey, do you want to come to Georgetown, is almost just like, yeah, student athlete requirements to get into college, probably a little easier if you're really good at your sport.
No, I just assumed it was like it wasn't a hard school to get into because of that.
Hell
I
no.
saw that 30 for 30. I was
Yeah.
like, you can't, no matter how good you are, you can't allegedly kill someone in a bowling alley.
No.
And then have John Thompson in your living room the next day.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, you gotta make up for it somewhere else. But like some of these interviews I see with athletes in colleges at like a respectable school is like that I couldn't get into, or I know a lot of people couldn't get into. They're doing their post-game interview or like just answering a question on the court or something, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, like, I know what college classes are like, and I mean, like, you just vibe with the way you're talking is not translating into like being a successful student.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
I don't know. My point is just like, I don't know. It's colleges will do some shady stuff to get the kids they want to play on their team.
I mean, I was gonna say I don't think there's standards anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe back then I thought there were, but maybe I'm just like old enough and smart enough to know like, oh no, man, anyone can go anywhere except for really Harvard. I'm still like on that train. Like you gotta be smart to go to Harvard.
Yeah.
And Stanford and Harvard.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but there's all these like perceptions we have about these like really good schools, and yes, it sort of makes me respect Vanderbilt a little bit more because they're almost just like, hey man, we'll just continue to suck at football and getting beat the hell down, but we're not gonna like give in to like, bringing some kid on the team just because he's really really good.
now that you mentioned it though, I don't think that's the case. I think they're trying and failing.
Well, then they're doing a bad job because they got Nashville behind them. So like if BYU or something like that can get like these top kids to go out there and like do all this Mormon stuff, no shade to Mormons, but like go to Utah and like be on BYU's team and they make the tournament and like down to the Sweet 16, then Vanderbilt has to step their game up, man, because all you have to do is just take a kid out to like Broadway one night and be like, hey, we're 5 minutes away from this every single night. You want to come to school here? And they're still not getting kids, then that coach needs to get looked into and fired for not doing some eligibility crap.
Yo, they should honestly just try to figure out who BYU is recruiting and then swoop in on those kids and be like, yo, take them to the nearest honky tonk and be like, this is our recruiting trip. I don't know what the fuck you guys did over in Utah, but this is what we do here.
If I'm a coach in Las Vegas, Nashville, Miami, even if I'm not Miami University, if I'm like, I don't know, another school out there that's like Central Florida in Orlando or something like that, and Orlando's popping, like you got Disney World and Universal and the weather's nice, but like
be in Miami.
But I'm low key. I'm going to every single Utah school. I'm going to every single, where else is whack? Like Montana school or like Michigan. Like no one
Wyoming.
wants Wyoming's
Wisconsin.
whack. Wisconsin. And I'm finding out when their coach is having recruiting days, and I'm just posting up in the corner. I'm going to let him do his whole spiel and be like, when it gets cold here, it gets really cold, and you're in Wisconsin. And then I'll just have a little pamphlet. I'd be old school. I'll have a pamphlet, like one of those things that just open up, like, and there's 3 pages, and it would just be like, it would say Miami on the top, It would say Nashville on the top. It would say Las Vegas on the top. It would have a picture of some chicks in like bikinis. It would have like a margarita. It'd have like no school related topics. Because I'd be like, you don't have to worry about school. You're going to be here for a year. I'll show them the honky-tonk picture, all that stuff. And I'd be like, so now where do you want to go? Wisconsin, or do you want to go Nashville? And you're telling me a 19-year-old kid's not going to choose Nashville? That coach is not doing the right recruiting, man.
No, I agree with that. And, like, who the fuck in their right mind? Like, why does Wisconsin have a good basketball team year in, year out? And that blows my mind. Like, there's nothing about that. That's like, yo, why would I want to do that?
I've always been saying that about UConn. Like, I'm sure Calhoun was doing some stuff, but who wants to be in the middle of Connecticut? Storrs, Connecticut. Like,
it's trash.
It just blows my mind that someone would want to be there. Even Syracuse. Like, Syracuse is like a little bit of a city. There's stuff going on there. But
yeah,
why would you want to be in Syracuse? Why would you want to be in Connecticut when you could be in Miami? When you can be in, just like, I don't know, anywhere else, Nevada, somewhere hot, somewhere that's like just popping. There's way more stuff going on. I don't know. It just, like, that should be the red flag right there. Like, if I'm if I'm hired by the NCAA and they're like, hey man, we really got to crack down on these recruiting and violations, I'll be like, all right, just show me a map. I'll just go to the wackest places in the country that have good programs, and I'll find out right away what the hell's going on.
What's going on? Yeah, because I remember going to a UConn basketball game like when I was 12 or 13, and just being thoroughly unimpressed with the campus. I was like, this is college. Okay, cool. Like, I tried to fake it, like, oh yeah, this is interesting. Like, this place sucks. Like, it makes sense a little bit, like you said, if it's a college town, but like Storrs, Connecticut is
not a
trash.
College town. Yeah,
it's trash.
Yeah. Yeah. So Vanderbilt's head coach, if you're a fan of the show, if you're the basketball coach, the football coach, baseball coach, you're fine. I don't know how any of the other programs are, but if you tune into the show, you're doing a terrible job, man, because just ask Matt where the spots are on Broadway. He'll go back down there if you want to pay for his flight and do a recruiting visit with some of your athletes. I will come along, but you'll get a lot more recruits if you do it that way than just showing them Elvis's mansion and all this stuff or wherever the hell this goes down in Vanderbilt.
Yo, hire me full time. We'll hit all the honky tonks.
All right, so now let's start the show. So I'm wearing, as you can see, we're down to business right now because this week on Friday, I just looked on ESPN, the Yankees open up playoff baseball, and this is when it really, really counts. So all these end of the season, regular season games that they've been losing here and there against Texas and Tampa Bay, doesn't matter. They already clinched the AL East. So they're playing, well, first off, I'm rocking the 2009 World Series cap. I'm going to try on Monday to wear another Yankees. I think I have another World Series cap. But playoffs start, I think tomorrow is like the first wild card game. I think Milwaukee plays somebody. Nationals. Okay, that's a good game. I think.
Yeah.
Nationals. No, they don't have Bryce Harper, right? He's with the Phillies.
Yeah.
Damn. So the Nationals made it to the playoffs and the Phillies didn't make it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's sort of crazy. Does anybody talk about that?
I mean, a little bit, but I knew the Nationals would still be all right without him. Like,
yeah,
they're gonna be bad if they don't sign guys like Rendon and stuff. Like Anthony Rendon is nasty. Like, and they got Trey Turner. They got good corner outfielders. They got Soto, who just pretty much picked up Harper's production. They got Max Scherzer going tomorrow. So it's like,
yeah, he's tough to beat.
It's a good matchup for them.
Yeah.
It really is. And Brewers, I didn't even think they were going to make the playoffs after Yelich went down.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They keep like proving me wrong. They just keep winning.
Yeah, they're like one of those good, like, just next man up teams. They always have like these like just glue guys that are like they're just like a good team. And like I could see, I'm like foreshadowing to tomorrow. I don't know if the game's on like TBS or whatnot, but I could just see them in their dugout like doing some weird crazy shit and just being like, oh, the Brewers are here, like and then just like putting cups on their ears and doing funky things like that like you don't see other teams do. But no, it's just funny to see that like teams don't have to pay these guys $400 million to like still compete. Like there's another right fielder that's just as good as Bryce Harper. You know, like maybe he doesn't hit as many home runs, or he's not as sexy of a sell as Harper, but like he's fine and he'll fill in, and he's just, you know, they're all Major League Baseball players for a reason. So like if you're a GM, you don't have to pay these guys $400 million because you could still compete and be good.
That's like the best part about baseball, and that's why I love it so much, is that you could be a fan of any team pretty much. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's 2 or 3 that
Padres are never going to be good.
Yeah, like that at the beginning of spring training, it's like, all right, we don't have a chance. You're talking like the Marlins, very few teams.
Yeah.
But pretty much every team can kind of make their own statement or their reasoning for why they should make the playoffs every year. And obviously there's always surprises too, which doesn't necessarily happen in other sports.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And even like the Marlins, like I said, I'll always count out the Padres. I could never see them like winning. They just like permanently suck. I think you fall into a San Diego trap when you go to that team. But like the Marlins are low key like a team that even like if their expectations are really bad and they're supposed to be terrible, they can have like these studs that just come out of nowhere, and they'll like at the end of the season go on like a 14-game win streak and compete, you know, like, so their fan base for whoever's down there can still maybe expect something, you know, before the season. But to your point, everybody's open in baseball. Unlike basketball, you know, certain teams are not going to do well. Like the Knicks are always going to suck. The Bulls are going to always suck.
Right. It's like the Twins and the Yankees. They're playing each other. Like obviously everyone knew that the Yankees were going to be good, right? But even with all their injuries, it's still surprising to see them there. And then the Twins have the best offense in baseball. Like people think they have a better offense than the Yankees, so it's like, and that's shocking. That's like, but then you look at their numbers, and it's like batters 1 through 7 have 30 plus home runs.
It's crazy. Yeah. And so something that was interesting that I saw, one, I was a little worried about the Twins when I saw the matchup. Like I knew playoff baseball was starting, but I didn't know who the Yankees were playing, and I saw the Twins and I was like, ooh. Like our track record against them is really good. So I saw we were 5-0 against the Twins in the playoffs, just like I guess period. But this season, like they match up against us really well. It's like I'm on the damn team. But like they had an epic like 13-inning game that the Yankees ended up winning. But the Twins they hit more home runs than the Yankees did this season, and the Yankees hit like an absurd amount. So like I'm worried about that matchup a little bit. Like the Twins are like one of those gritty teams that like could maybe beat the Yankees. So it's going to be interesting, but I still got to rock with my Yankees.
Yeah, I saw the bracket, and then I automatically saw Twins Yankees, and I'm just like, fuck, the Yankees got it easy again, because the Yankees have beat up on the Twins forever. The Yankees got that matchup for years in a row where they just spanked the Twins every single time. Like we're talking like back when like Jeter was playing and stuff, just every year, like it felt like. And
they had dudes. They had Joe Mauer. They had the other guy at first base. Like they had good players.
Yeah, they had Morneau. They had, they had guys, and they were always all right. But then they just matched up with the Yankees every year, it seemed, and they just got spanked, like swept right away. And then I thought about it this year. I was like, that's actually just going to be like a slugfest. Like if you're a novice baseball fan, that's the series I would watch, because there's just going to be home runs all over the place. Like they both don't really have pitching.
Yep. Yeah. No, that one's going to be good. And I was surprised that they won 101 games. Like that's crazy to me. The Twins are supposed to always just win like 89, 92 games or something like that. Like the Twins don't win 101 games unless that like 12-year-old is their coach or owner or whatever. What the hell was his name? Bobby. Was it Bobby? No.
Billy Mays. Billy Mays is the...
No, Hayes. I think it was Hayes, but you're on it. Yeah, Billy Mays is the infomercial. So, yeah, I got to rock with the Yankees. They start Friday, so next week we'll know what the series is there. But switching over to the other New York team, and they had an exciting run towards the end of the season, but there was one bright spot, which all Mets fans are jazzed about, is that guy. Is it Pete Alonso?
Yeah. Yep.
Savage, right?
Beast. Broke the home run record for rookies. He's clutch with it too. Like when we were in it and we still had a chance, he'd come up big, hit a bomb. Even like
He won the home run
there is a
derby too, right?
Yeah, he won the home run derby, beat Vlad Jr.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a clutch factor too, also to it, like being fucking. It's Friday night, Saturday night. You got 1-2 more games left, and he's hitting a home run to win it.
That's
like
beast.
there's a clutch factor to that.
Yeah, he seems like he's got some swagger. So, like, was he like a highly drafted guy? Like, where the hell did he come from?
Yeah, so he's a Florida Gator.
Oh,
so,
nice. I love this dude.
Yeah. And, like, crazy thing is, I saw him in the minors when I was in Florida. Like, it was just 2 years ago.
Wow.
He was in the minors, like, single A, man. Like, nothing crazy. Mm-hmm. And I was, like, watching him field, and fielding's his weakness. Uh-huh. He's improved drastically, but watching him throw the ball around, I'm like, this guy, I don't know about this guy. And he got up and just, like, flicked his wrist and, like, sent one 390 feet easy.
Really?
Like, yeah. So
that's pretty cool. You saw him at his prospect stage.
Yeah, it was insane because I was like, obviously I'd heard about him, mm-hmm. but I looked at him and was like, I don't know, man. Like, we'll see. And then, sure enough, first at bat, just like crushes one.
So now the Mets, are they notorious? Like, they have a tendency of like messing this up, right?
Yeah, I think it's different this year, especially like we pretty much missed playoffs because of our bullpen and specifically our closer. Like, and that doesn't happen too often when you miss playoffs. Like, you could kind of blame almost one guy. Like,
yeah,
I don't love the managing and like his style and stuff. And there are going to be managers out there.
Yep.
And
wait, but
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, like Pete Alonso in particular. Like, the Mets have a track record of messing up, like star players. Like, I can remember Harvey, but like, do they know that they have something with Alonso, or are they gonna like trade him away for like the Cardinals? Like ticket sales representative.
I think we're past that.
Oh, okay,
we're past that. Yeah, like, and we got a few young guys that are just legit, and I think they're going to just keep the nucleus of this team. They might change the manager out, and that's it.
Yeah, okay, good. Because I know, like, Jose Reyes they got rid of. I don't even know what they got back for him, and he was, like, the man. He, like, I think just won the, like, hitting title. Like, I'll put that in quotes because he sat out the last game of the season. But, like, usually, like, Harvey, they botched that situation. Granted, they, like, left him in the game, and his arm got all messed up, and the guy's injury prone. But you hope that this guy can be, like the next Mike Trout or something like that, where he's really like maybe becoming like the face of baseball.
Yeah, and he's like the face of the franchise already, which is it's saying something. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So speaking of, and this reminds me, if my new
watch
phone,
out for that door. Yeah.
My phone works. Okay, so we had a question. We got a couple questions from last week. And staying on the Mets because I think that they've got one of the best. But Eldrin asked, have we seen any of the mascot races in baseball? He put in parentheses Washington, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, or San Diego. So let's answer that first. Have you seen any?
Yeah, by far the best mascot race. I mean, he's a human, but I consider him a mascot. Is the Freeze in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit newer though. That came onto the scene just maybe like 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. Like,
that was pretty cool. And supposedly that guy was like a track star or something, right?
Yeah, and he gives these guys like all the way until they get into like left center, and then he just smokes them.
Yeah, and he didn't mention that one. So Eldon, if you haven't seen the Atlanta, but he's not their mascot though, so that sort of puts an asterisk towards the question a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's tough, like, because there are some teams obviously that don't have mascots, and for the Braves to that's a new thing that they brought out a couple of years ago, and they killed it with that. Yeah. I got to give them a little bit of credit because it's hard to just bring a new mascot into the game like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, like the Flyers did it with Gritty, and that was savage, and they just
Gritty killed it.
Gritty killed it in his first season. The Clippers came out with a mascot, and his name was Chuck or something like that because he wore Converse. and you don't hear anything about it. It's just this weird
trash,
looking
yeah.
like bird. He's got like a pink nose or green nose, and he just looks super awkward. But yeah, Eldon, check out the Atlanta Freeze mascot doing his races. But I've seen Washington's is pretty cool just because they do the presidents, and that sort of plays off the whole Washington, thing. I've seen the Bratwurst or whatever that is race in Milwaukee. That was exciting. The fans get really into that because they are Milwaukeeans, so like, they get excited for like sausage races. Oh
yeah, that's it. Like if you're not from Milwaukee and you describe it like that, it's like, all right, that's pretty awful.
Like you can't do a mascot race in New York because you'll get clowned. I mean, like the biggest thing that Yankees fans I feel like always had on Mets fans, and I don't know if you can back me on this one, but it's just like Shea Stadium. Well, not really Shea Stadium, but like beginning of Citi Field, they used to do like the wave a lot or whatever, or like Mets fans more so than Yankees fans will do the wave in their stadium. And Yankees fans will always go to a Mets game and be like, see, Yankees fans don't do that shit because like we're usually in the game and it's usually like we're enjoying baseball, and Mets fans have to find more fun stuff to do throughout the game. So it's like I feel like all these mascot races and all this corny shit that goes on in the stadiums usually started when your team was pretty bad. You don't see it with like Yankees. Who else is good? Like the Cardinals don't do funky stuff. The Dodgers aren't doing weird things just because like they notoriously have come from a franchise of being successful where it's just strictly baseball. You agree with me on that?
That's fair. I get that. The wave is kind of more like I do think of that as a baseball thing, and I don't love it just because it's like you're putting your hands up in the air. That's all that is. It's like not some innovative thing.
I'm a big fan of the wave, so like I enjoy when I go to other stadiums and they're doing it just because it's like wakes you up for a second, and it's like you get the anticipation of like, oh, when's it coming? Am I going to stand up at the right time?
Yeah, some people hate it. Well, I don't hate it, but it's like after 5 times, it's like, all right, sit down and watch the fucking game. Like, whatever. Like, but I know what you're saying with that. I don't know if the Yankees at this point are too far gone. Like, they probably can't get away with a mascot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no shot.
They're like almost too serious. Like, I love what the Cubs do where they have the 7th inning stretch and they have like a celebrity sing.
Yes.
That's something. You know what I mean? That's something because like you gotta like baseball in 2019. You gotta like do more than just have baseball games.
Yeah.
Like you gotta have something.
Yeah, I think the Yankees are unique, and that's a great point. It's like finding a different way. Like the Yankees, I think have always just kept it sort of OG. They've done like the hat game on the screen, and people get excited for that. They do the YMCA in I think it's like the 7th inning or 6th inning.
Yeah.
And like people get all jazzed up about that still. But yeah, your team needs to do something like unique to like keep you interested, because like going to a baseball game and just sitting there eating popcorn and peanuts is out the window. I think it was the Braves, but somebody did it it was like the Jumbotron on the back wall. And it was like Super Mario Brothers or something. And like, did you see this? And the guy, like, every time he jumped, it was sort of like he was going through one of those tunnels.
Oh, yeah.
And it matched up with the video board, like every time he jumped. And I was like, that is pretty sweet.
That thoroughly confused me, though.
Yeah, I was super confused by it. But like,
it's like, yo, how does that work?
Yeah, I didn't know how it worked either.
I almost think it's fake because it's like, remember... I know the Mets always do this still, where they have the volume, where they're saying "get loud."
Fake. Those are so fake.
That shit is so fake, but that fooled me for years.
Yeah, I'm still fooled by it. Like I say, it's fake, but then low key, I'm like, are they allowed to lie if it's not fake? Because I think it was like the Tampa Bay got in trouble because they were like falsifying crowd noise or something like that.
Well, they were probably playing shit like while the pitcher and batter were facing each other then.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? They were probably playing crowd noise while they were playing the game, which is like...
that wouldn't be allowed, but I feel like the article was just like...
Oh, the Lightning were, right?
I don't know. What's that?
It was hockey, right? It wasn't the Rays?
Oh.
It was the Rays?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like it was the Rays, but maybe it was the Lightning. I don't know. I just remember it being Tampa Bay and there being an article like Rays or Lightning like falsifies crowd noise or something like that, gets fined or in trouble because like they wanted to make it seem, like they obviously you want the other team to be intimidated and sound like, get a little nervous because the crowd's going crazy. But if 12 people are only showing up to your game, it's not going to make that much difference.
No. And like if you're in Tampa, like take what you could get, do it, cheat, whatever. Like use cameras, use the best speakers possible. Like, you deserve all possible. That.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I don't hold that against them at all.
Oh, this freaking phone. Hold on. Okay, so I would say I don't know what San Diego's mascot race is. I don't even. Oh, their mascot is like that weird guy in like a robe, and he wears like the old Olympic style hat. He's like a bald guy, or like he's balding. He's got like the Kevin from Shark Tank haircut. I saw their mascot for the first time when I went to the Marlins stadium for Home Run Derby, and I was like, "That's not the Padres mascot, is it?" And it's just like this weird guy who wears sandals. So I'm gonna put Milwaukee's race slightly above Washington, then I guess Pittsburgh does some type of race, and then San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, maybe San Diego is like a beach bum vibe or something.
No, because it's like it's something like it seems like it has like a religious theme to it or something.
Well, that's weird. He's just a Jesus freak, they call him, maybe.
I think so. He wears this like weird robe. Yeah, look it up when you're done, and like you'll see this. If my phone was like fairly quick to use, I'm gonna pull up a picture real quick. Padres mascot.
Yeah, I've never seen this guy. I will say though, the new guy, Gritty.
Look at this guy. This is their Flyers mascot. No exaggeration. What is he?
Yo, I don't know.
So like
he's like a Buddhist.
Look at his. He's wearing like some like religious thing on his head. I don't think that's.
He's got a hell of a chin.
He's got maybe it's like low key Jay Leno or something, but like then he's got the. You see his like sandals.
This guy runs around at what's it called, Petco Park?
I guess so, but this is what throws me off. He's wearing like one of those like hooded, like robe, like religious things,
Dude, that's odd.
I don't know. Oh, here's like the Padres one. So this was like, he's got his own baseball card, but like he's still wearing like
they dress him up.
No, I mean I think he more so just wears Padres stuff, but like I don't know what that like ropey thing is on him. And there's this like he's bald but has like this weird hairstyle. It's like, dude, just give it up and go bald. I don't know, what are you doing with the bowl cut with just like the hair?
What kids are asking to take pictures with this guy?
I got one, low-key.
Like, mascots are for kids.
I think I have a picture with him. I'll tweet it out so you guys see it. But no, he's super scary. So yeah, if he's doing a race, I don't know who it's against, but he's last on the list. And then his second part of the question, which we haven't gotten to really anything on our list yet, which always happens, but who's your favorite sports mascot?
I mean, favorite, I think, obviously love Mr.Met, but Gritty is up there for me because he's like a hobo who's shit-faced. It's awesome. He's got those googly eyes.
Yeah.
I like that. And he's new, I get it, but him, Mr.Met, Philly Fanatic.
Yeah.
They're all legit, right?
I agree. And it's interesting that for you, Gritty gets thrown on there right away, like because he's only been on the scene for a little bit, but he's made such an impact. The guy's a savage. But I would have to agree with you. I think Mr.Met is just so iconic. Like he's just like a staple of mascots, Like I remember being at that home run derby and all the mascots were there and everybody was asking for like him, the Chicago Cubs guy. It was like this little like cute little bear. And they had also just won the World Series or something. So like he had this big World Series ring on his finger. If I wasn't a Yankees fan and disliked the Red Sox so much, their mascot's sort of iconic too. I think he's
Wally.
What is it?
Wally the Green Monster.
Yeah. He's iconic.
That's a good one.
The Philly Fanatic is just, like always up there. But I got to put Mr.Met at the top of the mascot mountain, unless I'm missing any. Am I missing any mascot?
I don't think so, especially for baseball. Like Mr.Met's so iconic. They introduced Mrs. Met so late in the game.
Yeah.
Everyone was just like happy that he got married. Like no one was like, "Oh, it's a new mascot. That's weird." Like everyone was just like,
Good
"Oh
for
man,
him.
there's his wife."
Yeah.
Like so happy for him.
And he's a beast too. Like it helped him so much when he came up with the middle finger photo.
Yo, I love that.
Like I was so I know another mascot as I'm saying this. Benny the Bull he's up there, man. Benny the Bull is
legit. Yeah. That's a good one.
Benny the Bull is one of the best, man. Like I think they switched over mascots a couple years ago or something. There used to be a Benny the Bull mascot like 3 years ago who was he was the man. Like he would fight people in the concourse and like he was so good. He was like the best dancer. But your mascot needs to have a little swag to them. So when I heard that they fired Mr.Met for putting up the middle finger, like whoever was inside of Mr.Met, I was like, no, you guys are just missing the point. Like this was the best PR move to happen to Mr.Met. Like that's New York. He can't just be happy all the time, like he's got to be a real dude.
I agree. I don't think they should have fired him at all. I mean, they fired him. I had like an inside scoop on it a little bit. I was like, damn, man. Like he was gone the next day. They had a dude in there right away. Like,
see, no, you can't do that.
And it's like a decent job from what I hear too. You probably know about that more than me, but like from what I heard, it's like pretty much full time.
Really?
You're full time. Because think of how many like hospitals and events that dude, Mr. Met, has to go to all throughout the year.
Yeah, and like people so I know for a fact that like the Syracuse Orange, it used to be the Orange Men, but now it's just Orange. You can rent it for like birthday parties, holidays, and there's a lot of Jewish Mets fans that have a good amount of money. Mr. Met has probably been to a lot of bar and bat mitzvahs.
Absolutely. So he's busy, man. Like it's just getting started for him right now.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, man. I sort of want to write a letter to the Mets and be like, you need to bring back the dude with the middle finger because he embodies all New Yorkers, and you're doing a disservice to New Yorkers to have a mascot that's just happy all the time because we aren't.
It's true. I loved it. I was.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
About that. Now, go ahead.
I think the Benny the Bull, once he got into that concourse fight, I think he left on his own, but I think he might have gotten a raise after that or something like that.
So that fight was real.
Oh, it was really real. Like he got into this like altercation with the fan like in the concourse. It's still probably on World Star or like on Twitter or whatever. But he was going at it with this fan, and like it was just the funniest video to see a fan just like going full force, like fist with Benny the Bull.
They had to have fired that dude.
Yeah, I guess so. But like,
I mean, does Benny the Bull go off the trampoline?
Like to dunk it?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, he does weird stuff. Like he does everything, man. He's like, his thing is he'll take a popcorn that's like the size of like a whole section. And it walks down and like he's like wobbling, like he can't hold the popcorn, and then he just literally he'll dump a whole thing of popcorn on like a whole section. It's great because you see him like looking for his seat and he can't find it, and then you see this big bag of popcorn just start wobbling, and then it goes over literally everybody, and then I think he like continues his set, and he like finds his seat afterwards or something. Like it's so great.
Yeah, that's a classic move. If you're an NBA mascot, you definitely got to be able to go off the tramp, though.
Yeah.
You got to. Like I know the Phoenix Suns.
Oh my God, that's another one, man.
The gorilla flies. Yeah.
That guy's been around for a while too.
The gorilla might be top.
He might. Well, and then the Spurs Coyote, they're all coming to me now.
Yeah, NBA is legit though because really, I think a lot of them pretty much you gotta go off the tramp and throw some dunks down. Like you gotta you got to be able to fly.
Yes. Yeah. And I think the OG original one is the Phoenix Suns guy. That guy.
Yeah.
Like when I think of the Phoenix Suns mascot, I think like NBA jams and doing cheat codes when he used to be in there, and just like the boom shakalaka and like all that shit was from the Phoenix Suns guy. I can't think of really any other mascots that like were really as iconic as that one. Yeah, so
Remember
shout
you
out to
could
him.
unlock him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's how good of a
Man.
dunker the guy was. Like NBA jams.
That
knew
was
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
team him up with KJ.
Oh, yeah. He would play with like a player. That was cool.
Yeah.
So speaking of NBA, I want to get into this. This happened maybe a couple weeks ago, but it was still fresh on everybody's minds. Bleacher Report came out with their top 50 rankings of NBA players of all time. A lot of strong feelings from athletes, from celebrities, from everybody. Because here I wrote down some of the notable things. Allen Iverson was not top 50 on that list.
It's like I don't pay attention to these lists because
Yeah.
I think they do it on purpose
I
a little
agree.
bit.
Yeah.
You're gonna get so many clicks when they tell you like, what was Kobe like 14th or 15th or something, and it's like, dude, who's the 13 ahead of you?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm more biased, obviously, and I'm definitely more biased for like recent players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like as opposed to like we've had this conversation before. The players like in the 50s and 60s, like okay, cool, you were good, but give me Shaq, give me Kobe, give me AI.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I think a lot of the times, like, I mean, Bleacher Report is still like a news outlet. They still want clicks. They still want people reading their articles. So who's to say the editor of the article isn't like, yo, put Kobe at 16 and just see people go wild, you know, like, or like 14, put Kobe at 14, everybody's going to go berserk, you know, they'll be talking about it. What I don't like understand is like just leaving players off the list. Like, so I briefly looked at the list and I scrolled one time because there was like a whole bunch of like writing before it, before you get to the list. And number 48 on the list was this guy named Elvin Hayes. I don't even know who the hell Elvin Hayes is, but Allen Iverson would definitely bust his ass 101.
And it's also like, dude, like I know who he is, but come on, you like as
you know Elvin Hayes?
Yeah, but like
who the hell is Elvin Hayes, and how do you know him?
All right, well you're gonna have to research this, but I think he was a shooting guard for the Lakers.
No, I think he was like on.
That might have been Elgin Baylor.
Yeah. I was like, I would have been really surprised if you knew who Elvin Hayes was, because it was like some old dude in like a Bucks jersey or something like that, and that's why I was like, I was thinking maybe you thought like Alvin Hayes, who I sort of remember was like a player or coach or something like that, but Elvin Hayes, and I'm not trying to shit on your basketball knowledge, but like I don't even think like some of these writers or reporters for ESPN would be like, Elvin Hayes, I don't know. I don't know. It sounds familiar, but I don't know who he played for.
That's like, it's literally, it's like trolling in real world, in real time at your real job. It's just trolling.
Yeah.
Like you're taking it off of Twitter and using it in your job. And there was an editor that said something to do something like that. Like it's so stupid. Like
100%.
I hate those lists.
Yeah. So Kobe was 14, which had a lot of people up in arms. MJ was number 1, which I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is number 1. I think LeBron was like 4 or something like that. And also, you can't make an all-time great list and put active players on it like when their career is still going. Like it's just like that right there makes the list sort of dumb.
I agree with that because like ultimately 10 years from now when LeBron's not playing, if he doesn't win another ring, I guarantee you, even with all of his individual accomplishments, and even if he still continues to have all these individual accomplishments, they're going to drop him down the list.
Exactly.
Because he doesn't have the rings for it. So it's like,
yep.
I think you should, if you're going to do a list like that, get rid of all the active players.
All active players are off the list because it's not an all-times great list, because even on the flip side of that, if LeBron wins 4 more championships, then he's clearly number 1, you know?
He's won, yeah.
Unless you're doing a football list, and I hate to say it, but like Brady's got to be number 1, you know? And it's just like no active players. minus Tom Brady. Because
that's fair. It's like because like he could literally do nothing the rest of his career, or even more, and you can't go any higher than number one. So he is the standard.
What that guy's doing is just absurd. Like, and now like I saw Barstool post a picture of Josh Allen in like a Brady jersey, and it's like when you start having these young athletes, oh my eyes itch, and like there's old pictures of them like wearing jerseys of guys who are still playing and still competing at a high level, that's nuts to me. Like seeing
and he's still killing them.
He's still killing them. Like, yeah. Don't get me started on Brady. I don't know why my eyes itch so much. So sticking with basketball, media days have started, which means basketball season is sort of upon us. I think the Rockets play their annual NBA make a boatload of money game against like the Shanghai Sharks or something like that, where they just capitalize on like the Chinese market. Rockets go out there and smack them like 143 to like 97. Jimmer Fredette still somehow is on the Japanese team and like will put up 64 points. So that's always fun. But media days started. You still with me?
You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, now I think I got you back. You hear me?
Good. Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit. So they're playing the Shanghai Sharks.
Yeah, or something.
China?
They always play this team or whatever, and like I said, always Jimmer Fredette's on the team, and then he'll get like a 10-day because he puts up like 64 points or something like that against the Rockets.
As he should. As he should.
Yes. But media day started with Brooklyn. It was all about Kevin Durant and Kyrie, who all of a sudden are like SpongeBob and Patrick. They're like best friends, which is just like, that's going to blow up into a big fight.
It's like Kyrie talking about Kevin Durant and what the Warriors should or shouldn't have done with them.
I know.
It's like, shut up, man. Just focus on yourself. It's like so stupid.
I know.
Even if a reporter asks you that question, it's so easy to deflect.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's like, well, I wasn't there, and now he's here, so what does it matter? Like, it's literally the easiest question to not answer. And these guys fall for it all the time. It's like,
I know.
Like, we were talking about Baker and OBJ doing that a couple weeks ago, and now it's him. It's like, don't you guys take media classes? I don't get it. It's just, it blows my mind that they do that.
Yeah, and with Kyrie, the biggest thing that stands out is still like me with him. It's like you have a coach, like obviously you have to respect the chain of like just like the owner, the GM, the coach, this and that. But he's like, I won't let him play. Even if he, says he's feeling good, it's like, I'm not going to let him. I'm not going to do that. It's like, you're not going to do that anyway. Like, you're not the coach. It's up to the coach.
You're nobody.
Yeah, so like, stop with this, like, I'm not going to let him do anything. Like, no, it's not your decision.
Yo, it's so insane. Like, I have a least favorite player in the NBA every single year.
Yeah.
Like, for years, LeBron held that title, but like Durant did enough the last year to just like the way he would answer free agency questions. It's like, dude, hire someone to help you out with this because you sound like a dick.
Durant or Kyrie?
Durant.
Oh, really?
Kyrie did that too.
Yeah.
Kyrie, actually. Yeah, Kyrie. So it was 2 years ago was Durant. I was like,
yes.
Get him out of here, man.
Yep.
He's like annoying.
Yep.
And then last year was Kyrie with the same shit. And it's like, you literally, the way you answer questions, it ruined your team.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It ruined your team because all it was drama.
Yeah. And there's other guys on the Nets like Spencer Dinwiddie. There's other good guys, Karis LeVert, who have like put in time and put in work in that Brooklyn system. And now they hear Kyrie coming in like, I'm not going to let him play. And like, it's like, granted, a lot of it's not Kyrie's fault because the media goes to his interview and they ask him all these questions and like, ESPN covers it. But like, maybe take a step back and be like, there's other guys on this team, like we're all going to be, competing and doing this, and not just like, maybe just be like, it's not all about Kevin Durant. It's about all of us, and it's like, just as if anybody else got injured, we wouldn't want them to rush back or something like that. But like, I don't know, the way he answers questions sort of just ticks me off, but like, he doesn't have to impress me. He doesn't have to, so like, whatever. I mean, the guy's made a ton of money, but like, he's only been super successful when he was with LeBron. Outside of that, he hasn't. So maybe it's like, one thing I will say about LeBron is like, I think he's just super, super talented. So when you put a couple good people around him, he's going to do well. I don't think he's the best leader at sometimes. But like him and Kyrie are just unstoppable. So that's why they won. But outside of LeBron, Kyrie hasn't done anything. So it's like, first play a full season yourself, like had a fractured face in a pickup game. And then maybe you'll have some like merit to answer these questions about being a good teammate and not letting your guys come back. Because like everywhere you've been, no one's rocked with you as a teammate. So like we don't believe that you and KD are best friends. All is nice in the offseason, but let's start going into the season when you guys don't win your first 2 years or like, you know, you go on a losing stretch. Are you still going to be cool about things then? Like, so that stuff rubs me the wrong way.
No, I agree. Do you think Kyrie has the most, for all those things that you said, do you think he has the most pressure on him out of any NBA player this season? So I think he might.
Even more so than LeBron? I think it still falls on LeBron, man.
I don't see. My whole reasoning with like Kyrie is also the Nets were really good last year.
Yeah.
If you don't make them the same or even better, then it's like, why would they get rid of a guy like D'Angelo Russell for you when it's like, I almost think it's like kind of playing with fire a little bit by getting Kyrie, but that's how you got Durant. So I get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I still think LeBron is on his own stratosphere where he's just like levels above every other NBA player that like I think he sort of works on his own timeline and critiques and criticism. And then underneath that, I think there's like a Kyrie, and I think Harden deflects some of it a little bit just because he's so damn good, you know, like that even when he doesn't do well, it's almost just like, but he's still just amazing, you know, like
can't blame him even if you lose when you like put up 48, 10, and 8. It's like it's the same thing with Russ kind of a little bit to a certain degree. It's hard when you just look at those numbers. It's like, damn. Yeah. I will say LeBron's been smart so far with media today because he's pretty much put it on AD. He's like, this offense should and will revolve around Anthony Davis.
Yeah, it's
and
a genius move.
Then yeah, that's all for him, and that's low-key smart on his part.
Yeah.
But he sounded like the ultimate team player saying he's like, he shouldn't be on the court if the offense isn't around him. Like that is.
Then everybody's like, just like, damn, my AD's not playing well.
You motherfucker, you know what you're doing, but it's like smart.
Yeah, he's calculated and everything, man. So that's a genius tactic because he knows he's getting older. He knows, you know, he's not the man that he used to be. So if AD doesn't perform and like he's sort of reminding everybody like, hey, AD sort of snuck his way out of New Orleans to come here. Let's put a little pressure on his ass too.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. So and then, we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. So Lakers had their media day, Brooklyn had theirs, and then today the Knicks had theirs. And just being the Knicks, they're just gonna be the Knicks. They're gonna. Julius Randle is like dancing with like the Knicks kids. Like there's like these two media reporters, and it's just like he looked good in off-season workouts. He looked intimidating. He looked like tough. And then I saw him doing like these weird dance moves with the kids. And yeah, I know it's all fun in media day and it's supposed to be like, you know, laughing and getting all of like your video board stuff. But like that one video was just like, it made me like, it sort of smacked me in the face and was like, this is the Knicks, you know, like you don't see LeBron dancing with any of these like little kids in like their media days, but the Knicks social media account is posting that. And it's like, come on. There's so much other stuff you could be posting. Don't show me that.
Why are they doing that? Because obviously someone's telling them, hey, this is the script. This is what's going on. Like what? Like they should have took the approach because they do have a group of just grinders, hustlers, you know?
Yeah.
Like make it back to the streets again. You know, like the Charles Oakley days. Like you guys got some. Like there's a little bit of a lack of talent, but in terms of like hustle and hard and stuff like that,
exactly,
you guys could be all right. You like could beat up on teams that are resting guys on a back-to-back. You know what I'm saying? Like be that team.
I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying because we've never been a team to beat up on any type of team. Even teams that are resting their whole roster and bring up their whole G League and like all of this crap. Popovich will have like his water boy like filling in, coaching the game, and they'll still like we'll get down to the wire with them, but then they'll still beat us by 5.
But like, make it a rough and rugged game. Like you got some guys that could do that.
And that's what I'm mad about is like I see the social media account posting Julius Randle doing some weird dance move with 2 little kids, when I really want to see Bobby Portis like getting mad at a photographer for taking a picture of him when like it wasn't like time to take a picture or something.
Yeah, like you want these guys like just being mean, like mean mugging the camera,
That's
man.
what I'm
Like
saying. I didn't see one Bobby Portis photo, and the guy's the scariest guy in the league. Like he punched what's his name? It's Miritich in the face.
Yeah, like just all of media day, like just giving 1-word answers while blasting like the hardest New York music ever.
Yeah.
Like you can't use Biggie because that's Brooklyn Nets, but like
Nas
I don't
stuff.
know, put some Nas and Big L in there and just be like welcome to New York.
I know, man. Like it's so simple, but these guys just ruin it. Like, no, come on, all of your fans are diehard, like 25 to 35-year-old guys. Maybe you got some old people. Nobody's like 8, 9 years old wants to see like Julius Randle teen bop dance to like some with these 2 junior reporters. I'm so mad at their freaking social media account. Okay, so we'll move on from NBA. We had another question which sinks into our next topic, but Rodriguez Row 9999. I think he asked a question before. So shout out to Rodriguez. But he asked, thanks for the podcast. NFL TV viewership has gone down for the last several years. Why do you think this is, and do you think it will continue? I think a lot of it, personally, has to do with just like the whole political stuff with Kaepernick and some people being against the NFL because guys are still kneeling, this and that. So that's played a lot into viewership. I think, advertisers are scared to get involved with commercials and all this stuff. So I think that plays a big part. What do you think just on that?
I think in years past, there's been some really, really boring weeks of football, especially the first 3 weeks of football. I think have been so slow, and like you get these 10-3 games, and like they're just awful. Like, yeah, sure, you could appreciate some defense, but the offense is miserable. This year, I think, is a little different with that. So you might get a little more buy-in, but it feels like the games are a little more exciting. It's a little more high scoring than it usually is. But those first couple weeks are usually so rough in terms of like watching. So
is that my Siri?
Yo, that's mine.
That's so weird because my Siri just went off.
Yo, I think they're talking to each other.
Yeah, that's really weird.
I thought that was your Siri.
Yeah, mine went first, and then I heard one in the background. I still thought it was mine. Damn, our Siris sort of like know each other. They're trying to break out of their like. They just Toy Story woke up on us real quick.
That's like Inception.
Yeah, that was weird. But yeah, I think you're right. I think games are starting to get a little more exciting. I think the whole like AB situation and all that stuff plays a factor in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out there.
I think like games have been a little bit more exciting. I think the whole like AB situation and all the off the field stuff helps a little bit, because people tune in to see him play for the Patriots, and then they follow up on if the Steelers are still doing well and like the whole Hard Knocks with Gruden. So I think, yeah, it's been a little bit more exciting this past season just because of the stuff that's been going on. I think ratings should go up. Well, actually, no, I don't think so. So Super Bowl halftime show was announced. So J-Lo and Shakira are going to be performing. So you're going to get a lot of creeps watching them. But like they still go like the conservative, safe. Yeah. They go like the safe route. They don't do anything edgy for the Super Bowl, and that's like I thought Jay-Z was going to come in and like last year they had who was it, Big Boy, but they didn't have Andre. Like if you're going to do one of the Outkast, you got to have Outkast. Like they keep towing the line and don't just like I want to see like Big Pun. Not Big Pun. Big Pun's dead.
Jeez.
But like there's a lot of other people that they could do besides like just the safe J-Lo and Shakira.
I don't know. I kind of like that.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of like it. I don't know if it's just because like I'm just like I'm easy, but I mean, we might see something.
We're not seeing anything, man. And like,
No, we might see something, man. Just a
no,
little kiss, little something.
oh, a kiss. Yeah, a kiss could actually come into play. That would be a good prop bet. Is if they
Just a
kiss.
peck.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good. I like that. If I'm Vegas, I'm betting. Like, I'm putting a line on do they kiss or something like that. Because J-Lo, she's like 50 now, I think, and she sort of keeps pushing the envelope of like, hey guys, I'm still sexy, which she definitely
Yeah.
is. But like, she wants to keep showing us that. Like she's the Tom Brady of entertainment music. Is just like, I could still do this stuff. So just recently, she came back out with that green dress that she wore with Diddy, and she's sort of tapping into that. Like, I'm still the GOAT. So Super Bowl is going to be her time to like, maybe show something or like, do something. You're right. That's a good. All right. I'm on board with that. So to Rodrigo's question, or Rodriguez, I think viewership will go up a lot during the Super Bowl halftime show because, yeah, I just sold myself on that. Well, you sold me and then I sold myself.
Hell yeah, it's something to watch for.
Yeah. So shout out to the halftime show. Staying on football, where are we at on time? Oh man, we're rocking for a while.
Yeah.
So depending on how good our network goes, because it's been a little choppy, but I'm gonna chop down some of this lift and save some of it for next week. But we'll jump right into just recently today. I think California passed a law to pay their NCAA players, which is super, super interesting. I'm very curious to see how it's going to play out. But it's called the Fair Play Act. And I think what the main thing in it is that players now are not going to be punished for collecting like endorsement money, or if they want to seek something out on their own, like if they start their own YouTube channel or they're a musician or something like that, which is super interesting because it's just California. So like, are those schools now going to have better recruiting than other schools?
They got to, right? And like the biggest thing too, because like California could pass a law or whatever, but the fact that they could say that the NCAA can't make a student athlete ineligible because of this.
Yeah.
Because they get a sponsorship deal, because they could get a car thrown their way now or whatever.
They can hire an agent.
And they can't make them ineligible for that. Like, yeah, that's like no one's going to Vanderbilt now.
Yeah, man. That's why I'm very, very curious to read up a little bit more on it and see how it shakes off, because this is like low key, like this is major, major, major news, because like that would just mean that every player would go to UCLA, go to USC, go to all these schools, because it's like if you do want to go to college and experience that, which I think this could potentially shake shit up, where there is no college, where there is no NBA age limit, where you could just jump to the NBA. But if you do want to go to college, it's a no-brainer to go and make money at these California schools.
Yeah.
Did you catch any of that?
That was really bad. No.
Oh, damn it. All right.
Shit.
We'll end it here. We had a lot more we wanted to discuss, but to recap, basically Vanderbilt is trash and their coaches are doing a bad job.
And everyone's going to California, because there's obviously
going to California.
It's good to end it here now too, because there's gonna be more about this. This is so new right now.
Exactly.
By next week, we'll have like 5 more articles and 1 million more just different news clips from it that are gonna go into detail a bit more.
Yeah, we had a lot more on the list, but we'll end it here. We touched upon a good amount today. So thanks for listening. Still ask questions. Questions are starting to pile in. That's 2, man.
I like that.
That's a lot. We had a week off.
Good questions too.
Good, super good questions. So thank you for asking them. Keep the questions coming, man, because I don't know if we'll have time to get to them all. It's always interesting if we're gonna get to all the questions or not, because now that they're piling in, we might have to hire like an intern or something to filter through all of them.
All 7 of them.
All 2 of them. All right. Well, thank you, Matt. Thanks for listening. Sports Buffet number 8. We're out of here. Peace.